Welcome to Life Unscripted, the podcast where we throw the script out the window and we dive headfirst into uncharted waters of real life stories. We're your hosts, Nick
and Kelsey.
Please relax and enjoy the first episode of Life Unscripted. Kelsey, how are you doing?
I'm doing all right.
Yeah?
Yeah, we had a good morning.
We did have a good morning. What did we even do this morning?
Went to the gym.
Went to the gym. That was pretty much it.
That was it. And now we're here.
And now
it's
we're
3 p.m.
It is 3 p.m. Before we dive in too deep, we just kind of want to go over why we're doing this, who we are, where we're from, and really give you a little bit of a sneak peek of who we are as individuals and as your hosts of Life Unscripted. So start it off with who you are and where you're from.
My name is Kelsey. I am 24 and I'm from London, Ontario. We moved around a lot when I was young, so I've lived in London and surrounding areas, but now we reside in Niagara.
Yep. My name is Nick. As mentioned before, I'm 23 years old, turning 24. Also born and raised in London, Ontario. I moved out here for school and for volleyball, obviously in Niagara, and I haven't looked back. We love it out here. I love it out here. It's a change of pace, and it's home. I call it home now.
Yeah, it's a good home.
It is a good home. It's a great home. So that's who we are. And our goal of Life Unscripted is to really, as I mentioned before, dive into some stuff that people probably don't talk about on a day-to-day basis. It's obviously not in the news and blah, blah, blah. But also bring on people that have had different life experience. They come from different walks of life, and we can really shine a light on a bunch of different aspects that go into life.
Yeah, get different perspectives and hear different people's experiences and
Absolutely.
just talk.
Absolutely. And that's the thing at the end of the day. We want to have fun while doing this. We hope that we bring some entertainment to people who are listening and maybe some comfort for, individuals who are going through some things, but it also gives us a chance to sit down, discuss things, and have an excuse to find some time because life is busy right now.
Yeah. Why is your life so busy?
Life is busy because I just don't know when to stop. So
yeah.
I work full time. I work for a local municipality down here in Niagara, and I'm a facilities technologist. So I'm pretty much a glorified babysitter. Anything to do with the building systems, HVAC, mechanical, roofing, pretty much everything. I have to oversee, and it's project management at the end of the day. So I have that, and then I'm assistant coaching a local men's volleyball program, Go Knights Go, Niagara College Knights. And I've been doing that for the past 3 years. That's one of the main reasons I came down here. I was recruited for volleyball, and I was offered a volleyball scholarship, and I haven't looked back since. So I do dedicate a lot of time to that program, but it's also given me a lot back coming down here into the Niagara region. So I don't know when to stop, and now we're doing a podcast.
Yeah, and you also are somewhat helping out at a local high school?
I am, yeah.
Coaching the volleyball.
That's right. There. Yeah. So I wanted to give back. Growing up, I never really played competitive volleyball. I was more competitive baseball as I grew up. That was my passion. And I pretty much got all my experience through high school back in London. And I really wanted to give back to that age group of volleyball players because I think that's a big developing time for them. And I find it interesting to see kind of the talent that's in the local Niagara area and see if I can maybe recruit some kids that want to come to Niagara College. So it's a lot of time.
It is a lot of time. You're never home.
I'm never home, but this podcast is going to give us somewhat of an excuse to sit down and make sure we're home.
Yeah.
And what do you have going on in your life right now?
Not much.
Not much? Well, work,
no,
obviously.
I'm a nurse. I've almost been a nurse full-time for 3 years. So right out of high school, I went to college for personal support working. And I started working as a PSW in a group home for disabled adults or individuals with disabilities.
Right.
And I worked there for 5 years, and that was hands down my favorite job. I loved the people I supported, and I loved the work that I got to do. But I always knew I wanted to be a nurse. So throughout working there, I went back to nursing school and became a nurse. I started my nursing career in acute medicine.
How was the nursing school? How was it? Was it a very rigorous time of your life? Was it a lot of stress? Just for those people who may be listening that want to go into that field.
Yeah, nursing school is no joke. And if you aren't a great student like I was, you're going to struggle. I didn't have great time management. I didn't study the best. And I mean, I still pulled through and became a nurse, but I think I made things way more stressful for myself than I had to.
Right.
And then on top of that, my first year of college, there was a strike here. So that put a damper in things. I think it was like a 8 or 9 week strike.
And then COVID.
And then in my second year of nursing, it was COVID.
Yeah.
So that all got put online and changed everything. So my college experience wasn't normal per se.
Wasn't ideal for sure.
But yeah, so I started nursing in acute medicine. I worked there for almost 2 years full time. I worked a little bit in a respite program, which is basically like a space for children to go to give their primary caregivers a break. And I worked with children with disabilities in that space. From there, I started working in the emergency department, which I currently work in and love. And now I just started teaching nursing students.
Nice. And are you enjoying that? Like comparing it to the ER side of it? Do you have, obviously there's probably pros and cons in both that you enjoy, but just elaborate a little bit more on what you like about the teaching side of it.
Yeah, so teaching, it's nursing, but it's in a different role. I don't necessarily have patient assignments and patient like workloads and tasks and responsibilities and all of that, but I am teaching students how to develop those skills and how to know how to prioritize your patients and how to time management and, even just the foundation of nursing skills. Right. Like I am teaching all of that and I really enjoy it because students want to learn. Yeah. They want to be good. They're paying to go to school. And when I was a student, my clinical instructors made nursing school great.
Right.
And I really wanted to be able to do that for other students.
And in some sort of aspect, you almost have a little bit more responsibility as a supervisor because you have 8 students?
I have 6 right now.
So you have 6 students all working under you.
Yeah.
That are doing medical things such as, IV work, charting, whatever it may be, and all that responsibility falls back on you.
Yeah. I mean, if you trust your students, you let them do things.
Right.
If you don't trust them, there's that communication of you're not ready or we have to work a little bit harder on this before you can do it independently. Like there's very strict like what they can and cannot do, and it also depends on what year they're in and what semester they're in. So everything varies.
For sure.
But I definitely have loved it so far.
And what semester are your students in or year?
Second year.
Second year?
Yeah.
So they obviously have some skills and they can kind of be left on their own, but still at the end of the day, they're not, fully licensed. So you still have to take that responsibility on. Yeah. No, it's very interesting. I never really had the exposure to the medical world. I tried to avoid hospitals like the plague. But now, obviously, with Kelsey being in my life, I've really been able to see the medical field from the other side of the table, per se. And it's really opened my eyes to how much you guys really do for everybody, complete strangers that you don't even know, per se, probably don't even care about on like a personal level.
Right.
And you guys are out there 12 hours a day, 8 hours a day, whatever it may be. It's incredible. So anybody listening that's in that medical field, kudos to you. You guys worked through probably the craziest time in recent history. So all of my respect goes out to you guys. Oh boy, here we go. This is Mr. Miles.
Miles has joined the podcast.
He has joined the podcast. He's probably going to join the podcast a lot because he is very needy. Make sure he doesn't hit the mic. But Miles is a miniature smooth-haired cream dachshund. He is from Thunder Bay, and he is 5 years old.
Miles came here on an airplane.
He did. He came here on an airplane. He is an absolute sweetheart. We love him with all of our hearts. And we also have another dog, Ivy. She's a sweetheart as well.
She probably will not be seen that much because she is an independent queen.
She is Miss Independent, that's for sure, unless she wants food or snuggles.
Yeah. So anyway, she's an 8-year-old Boston Terrier pug mix, and she's great.
She is. She's amazing. Both these dogs are amazing. But I will say, if you're interested in getting a dachshund of any kind, you probably know this. They are quite mouthy.
Yeah.
But it's what makes them them.
Yeah, but it's a lot.
It is a lot. But I will, before we continue on, I will say this is a very interesting fact. I'm probably going to embarrass myself while we talk about this. You probably already know what we're talking about. When we first started talking, Kelsey mentioned that she has 2 dogs, one of them being a dachshund. Cool. That's incredible. First time they came over, I saw Mr. Miles and I said, "Oh my God, that looks like a wiener dog." And Kelsey's response was, "It's the same thing. A dachshund is a wiener dog."
Yeah.
I didn't know that. I thought she was lying to me. I had to search it on Google and
ask people.
And, you know, to my surprise, a wiener dog is a dachshund. And they're also called what? A dachshund?
Dachshund.
A dachshund?
Yeah.
Is that like a Scottish term?
I don't know.
I wanna figure out if that's a.
It's
I don't even know how to spell it. Dachshund.
Yeah.
Dog. Term. Dachshund. And they used to be badgers or badger hunters. That's where the name comes from.
Yeah.
They're badger hunters. So I never knew that. Miles definitely wouldn't hunt for anything right now.
No, he's a spoiled boy.
He is.
He does dig though. He's a digger. Outside and inside he likes to burrow.
Yeah.
In blankets and pillows and us in anything.
Yeah. So on our couch we have about 5 blankets.
Yeah, because everyone needs one.
They do, including us.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. But yeah, you'll probably see a lot of Mr. Miles. And if you guys want to see more of Mr. Miles or Ivy, by all means, we can do that. We can make that happen.
We can force Ivy to be here.
Yeah, absolutely. So now that we've kind of talked about who we are, where we're from, what we do, let's bring this back a little bit as to what we want this podcast to be.
Okay.
So when you messaged me literally 2 days ago.
Yeah.
Hey, you want to do a podcast? I said, abso-fucking-lutely.
Yeah.
And in 2 days, we've put this together.
Yeah, which is pretty sick.
It is.
In my opinion.
Yeah, I think we have already hit the nail on the head.
Yeah.
For 48 hours of putting stuff together. And I'm super excited for it. I'm excited to see where it can go. You know, the topics that we can cover. But why did you message me 2 days ago asking if you want to do a podcast?
I think I've always wanted to do a podcast for a really long time. And I like social media. I like creating things. I like making TikToks. And the reason that I hold back or that I don't necessarily do some things is because I care a little bit too much about what other people think.
Right. Fuck that.
But when I asked you and you were like so for it, I was like, honestly, like, why not?
Yeah.
I don't necessarily care what other people think because it's our podcast. And
exactly.
Like, we're doing it for fun. We're doing it to talk. We're doing it to share life stories. So if you don't want to listen, then don't listen. Like,
exactly.
For me, it's fun.
Absolutely. Yeah. And it's one thing I've always said. I've never had anybody hate on me that is doing better than me. So all those haters out there, don't even worry about it.
You love that term.
I do love that term. Yeah, my real goal for the podcast, like we said earlier, we touched on it, is to just touch one person or 2 people or nobody. But at the end of the day, for us to have fun in order to talk about things that have gone on or things that are going on, whether it's in the world with us or some of our guests that we have planned to come on. yeah, our goal is to just have pretty much a safe environment that everybody can talk and we can discuss, and hopefully those that are listening and that want to follow us along this wild journey find some comfort in the stuff that we discuss every single day.
Yeah. I'm really excited for some of the people that we've talked about bringing on and that have agreed to come on, because the things that like all of these different people are going to talk about are so different, but will affect like different people in different ways.
Right.
So I'm not going to say what the topics are, but I think that
No, absolutely.
they will be able to help different people in different ways
Yeah.
and share different perspectives.
Yeah, at the end of the day, we're all different individuals. We come from different walks of life, different life experiences. I know the people that we have lined up and willing to come on and discuss those hard topics have experienced things I could never fathom. I could never, work through.
Yeah.
But I also know that the individuals that are coming on, or anybody who's listening, they haven't really gone through some of the things that we'll touch upon from our personal lives, right?
Yeah.
So I think it's going to be a great opportunity for us to nail down a bunch of different topics, but for people just to have fun, laugh, and not really care when they walk through that door. Like we said, throw the script out the door and let's just sit down and have fun. Yeah. So overall, what makes Kelsey? What are some of your hobbies?
Oh my God. I feel like I'm being interviewed.
Well, isn't that the point of a little bit of a podcast?
I guess so.
Yeah.
I spend, I don't even know, a lot of my time at the gym, especially as of recently. I play soccer. I like to, I don't know.
There's one thing right in front of us that you are obsessed with.
You're either talking about my Stanley or my dog.
Okay, 3 things in front of us that you're obsessed with. You are a huge plant person.
Oh, yes. I do love my plants. I got probably 15, 16, 17.
15 plants, yeah. What kind of plant is this?
This is a ZZ plant, and it was one of my first.
Yeah, and it's blossoming.
Mm-hmm.
It's beautiful. We have tons. We have tons of different sizes pretty much all over our house.
Yeah.
We hope to incorporate them a little bit more into the set. We kind of just have to figure out how things are going to play out. But why do you enjoy plants so much?
They literally just make me happy.
Yeah.
There's no other there's no other term.
Do you think it's a little bit of like a motherly instinct of why you enjoy it? Because you have them from pretty much babies. I
mean, maybe. All the plants that I have don't require that much attention, and they're also like, if you know enough about plants, you can tell when something's off and like know how to fix it.
Right.
So I like to see them grow.
Absolutely. And flourish.
Do some things.
Yeah. At the end of the day, they are a beautiful sight for when we come into our house.
They are time consuming, but other than that, I love them. They're
very time consuming. But
I was going to go back to what you said about like what makes me me.
Yeah.
You were like asking what I did. I was just going to say that when we decided to move here, you were already quite established in the Niagara region.
Yep. As
in you've been here for, I don't know, 5 years,
5 years, yeah.
And when I moved here, I left a lot back in London. I'm not saying it in a bad way, but it's just like I stopped playing soccer for a year. I left all my friends and family back there, and it's not significantly far of a drive,
right? But
it has made a big difference. I've found that I can't just text my friends and be like, hey, want to go to the mall? Or like, hey, want to go get lunch? Or like, hey, want to come over and hang out? Like, it takes a lot of planning now to see my friends and to do things with my friends.
And everybody's so busy right now. Everybody's so busy.
And almost all of my friends, or my immediate friends, are nurses. So if you know anything about nurse scheduling, like,
it's awful.
It's awful. So that's been hard to navigate, I'd say, since we moved, but I don't know.
How have you been coping with it? Like, how have you made that transition? It is a huge transition to make. You took the leap to come down here and move down here, and like you said, it was a completely new atmosphere, new way of life, new routine. How have you coped with it at the end of the day?
I just hiccuped. I don't know. there's definitely times when it's harder than others, but I find that I had a better understanding of who my true friends were when I moved away,
Right.
because I realized that some people talk to me just because it was convenient or whatever, but the friends that are actually my true friends, like, will
Reach out to you.
reach out to me, FaceTime me.
Right.
Like, it's a solid two-way communication.
Yeah.
And there's some people that I thought that I would be friends with forever that I have not heard from since I moved away. So it's been a learning curve, and it's been hard, but it also really taught me who my real friends are.
It's like when you were in high school and you put out your timetable,
Yeah.
and all of a sudden whoever was in your class that year,
Yeah.
that was your friend group.
Yeah.
And then when you decided to go to college or wherever, you didn't talk to anybody. You didn't talk to any of them, right? So it's kind of like that. I could totally see where true colors would kind of shine in making this move.
Yeah.
But you enjoy it down here, you know, besides me. I'm freaking awesome.
Yes, I do like it here. I honestly, when we chose where we did to live, it was just a random, like, hey, what's halfway in between where you work and where I work?
Right.
And this is where we found there's nothing here, and I love that about it.
Yeah, there's nothing here. Nothing.
It's a very safe feeling community, and it's small.
Yeah.
I don't know. I love it.
Yeah. We have 2 grocery stores.
Yeah, it's tiny.
That's it. But it's nice. Close to the highway. Easy for commuting.
Yeah.
I thoroughly enjoy it.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, Niagara is, you know, wine country. So we can go anywhere and get beautiful wine.
Yeah, there's lots of wineries around. I
Wineries
didn't
and
go to
breweries.
one this year, but there was also a lot going on this year. So
Yeah. I also find it tough. People who are probably listening can relate to this if they're from around the world or from different areas. When you live somewhere, you really take for granted what you have. Like,
yeah,
we're not far from Niagara Falls, and it's one of the world's most renowned places. I think it was voted the most romantic place in the world or something like that.
probably. But us as individuals have been there so many times that it's like, I don't.
That's what I mean. But like, say someone listening lives in Paris.
Yeah, and they were like, oh, I've
They're
always
like,
wanted
oh
to see
yeah,
Niagara Falls.
you know, I've always wanted to see Niagara Falls. I live
Yeah.
by the Eiffel Tower. I live in the Eiffel Tower. I don't know if you can, probably not. But for us, we'd be dying to see that.
The Eiffel Tower, yeah.
And then vice versa. They
Yeah.
would love to come and see Niagara Falls.
Right.
So I find that you take for granted where you are, what you're close to. So that's probably why we haven't made it to some wineries and breweries.
Probably
But we'll definitely put that on the agenda
next summer.
next summer.
Yeah, it's cold now.
I don't know. It's it could still happen.
I doubt it.
Ice wine season.
It's like apple picking and pumpkin picking season.
True. That is true. Speaking of pumpkins, we went on an absolute tear when, obviously, this is our first season change, being in our new home, and we went on an absolute tear for fall decor.
Yeah, I think we probably bought 15 fake pumpkins.
15 fake pumpkins, like the
And then
plushy ones.
And then we had to desperately find spots in the house to fit all the pumpkins.
We did, but we have backups in case any of the dogs decide to corn cob them.
Which they have not yet, and we had them for a few months. So
Yeah. Overall, it was
or at least a month or so.
It was a lot of fun going out
Yeah.
and just not worrying, just buying what we thought would make our house
Cute.
look so much cuter. And
Yeah.
so
And then I went to Walmart the other day, and Walmart has all of their, not all of their, but they're starting to put out all their Christmas stuff.
yeah,
It was so exciting.
I'm not excited for that.
I am.
The bank account is not going to be happy.
Hey, it'll be okay.
It will be okay. Yeah, it's been a super cool experience for me, at least, being able to decorate a house. Like
Yeah.
previously, I lived in a basement
Mm-hmm.
when I went to school, and then for a couple of years after, before I got into my career, and there wasn't really much going on down there, so I didn't even have room for really a tree or anything. So I'm excited for that.
Yeah, and I think now this year we'll have like 2 or 3 trees.
That's the goal.
Yeah.
Yeah. The
Yeah.
goal is to make this place like a winter wonderland,
Yeah, it'll look great. I'm excited.
but we still have to get through Halloween, spooky season.
Yes, I know.
And that there's some spooky neighbors outside that have fully decorated it. Kudos to them.
They have like I don't even know what she is.
It's some lady on a swing. I'll try and find a picture and put it up there, but
it is terrifying. I went out the other night and I'm like walking and all of a sudden I see this lady swinging on a swing and it's pitch black out. And I was like, what is going on?
Yeah.
And then right behind the lady is like, what's that guy on the door?
Michael Myers. So
Michael Myers on the door.
Yeah.
So you see the lady swinging and after him, Michael Myers. And it's a no for me.
Yeah, it is super spooky, but there's like a lot of people in this area that have really gone full out for decorations and stuff like that.
I want to say, I don't know if this is true or not, but I think it's because we live in a bougie area.
Potentially, because they have the money to spend on
Halloween decorations.
Because
growing up, I did not live in a bougie area, and like there were not the kind of decorations that are here.
Yeah, there's
like these are like that massive skeleton we saw.
14-foot skeleton, Costco classic.
We saw it at Costco, and it was like hundreds of dollars.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And I was just like, what? Okay.
But there's a lot of Halloween lovers out here. Anybody who has crazy setups at their house, comment them below, send them to us. We would love to see them. I enjoy seeing people have passion at the end of the day when they put that time and effort into a Halloween decoration or a Christmas decoration, right? Sure. So send them our way. If you have anything that's crazy, like I'm going to try and find this lady that's on this swing and I'll put it up on the screen.
Yeah.
But it's nuts.
Yeah.
It's nuts. I really want to dive in a little bit deeper to, us.
Yeah.
What makes us?
Yeah.
We heard about you.
We heard about you.
We heard about me.
Do you want to talk about when we first met?
Sure. Yeah. It's pretty much coming up on a year.
Yeah.
In 9 days? I think it's 9 days.
Probably 9 days.
We met back in London.
Mm-hmm.
Cowboys.
I just want to tell the story of how that came to be because I'm sure I've told you before, but you might not remember.
I probably don't remember.
So it was the Halloween weekend and me and my friend Olivia were planning on going to a different Halloween gathering.
Yeah.
And my roommate at the time, Raya, had come home with her friend and they were like, oh, we're going to Cowboys, like you guys should come, whatever. And Olivia and I basically said, like, we already have an Uber coming for somewhere else, but they managed to convince us to go to Cowboys. So we canceled our Uber and we went to Cowboys, and just so happens you were there.
I was there, and once I saw you, I was in trouble. But yeah, so we met at Cowboys, and then shortly after, you came down for a visit. And it was actually like around the Christmas time. And for those of you who aren't from the Niagara area, Niagara Falls does a beautiful festival of lights. They light up the Niagara River Parkway, thousands of lights. It's beautiful. Decorations, yeah. Everything. So we decided to go down there. And of course, when we went down there, for those of you who aren't in Canada, we haven't really had crazy winters recently.
No.
But we're getting hit with a couple days here and there of just absolute whiteout torture. And of course, when we decided to go down there, it was whiteout torture. So we started walking down Niagara River Parkway, looking at the lights, and we got absolutely slammed with a blizzard.
Yeah.
So made our way into a local Boston Pizza.
Is that what it was?
It was a Boston Pizza. Yeah. It was like the Boston Pizza with the arcade and stuff.
Yeah, on Clifton Hill.
On Clifton Hill. So went there, had some food, a couple of drinks to warm up, warm the soul, have some liquid courage.
Maybe calm the nerves.
Calm the nerves. And once the blizzard passed, we, continued on our way. But after that point, I knew I was kind of in trouble. But it was funny because I was adamant. I just got out of a long-term relationship. I was adamant. I don't want like another girlfriend right now. I kind of just want to do my thing, hang out, blah, blah, blah. But things changed quite quickly. Yeah.
They did.
You're
making me cheese.
She's cheesing.
Yeah.
But
you were so adamant and you didn't want a girlfriend, but all of your actions said different.
Oh yeah, they were screaming that I
All of
wanted to
them.
be cuffed up.
Oh, yeah.
I'm a sweetheart.
Yeah.
No, I know what you're talking about. I went above and beyond. You would come down. Like I said, I lived in a basement apartment, and I would light a bunch of candles, get a bunch of bottles of wine, set them out.
Yeah.
We'd watch movies and
Yeah.
just listen to music,
Yeah.
kind of just do whatever,
Hang out.
hang out, and yeah, I can see how that's what my actions were, and I'm glad I did it because
Like,
that's
picture
where we are now.
this. Picture this. You meet a guy, you're vibing. He tells you he doesn't want a girlfriend. You drive 2 hours to see him, and when you show up, there's candles all over the living room and bottles of wine and just nice music on, but this guy just told you he didn't want a girlfriend.
Yeah, fuck. I'm not gonna say I fucked up because it ended up exactly how we both wanted it. We're here now. We're starting a podcast, and we live together. But yeah, it was a great time.
You just knew you liked me.
Well, I love you.
Yeah.
Say it back.
I love you too.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, that's kind of how we started, and we haven't really looked back. Like we said, we moved in together in May,
Yeah.
and kind of just threw everything upside down, and started running life together.
Yeah, May was yeah.
It was nuts.
Yeah.
It was nuts. But there's a lot of people out there that are like, oh, you've only been dating for X amount of time and blah, blah, blah. There's no time that you can really put on if something feels right, it's normally right.
Yeah.
And that goes with anything. It's not just, romantic relationships. It can be anything, work, anything. There's no amount of time that has to be put on something in order for it to be right or for it to be justifiable to other people. At the end of the day, if it works for you and whoever else is in that situation, then it's right.
Time ain't shit.
Time ain't shit.
No.
Yeah, no. Other than, time ain't shit.
Like in the grand scheme of things,
it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. In 20, 30 years, what is a 1 year time frame? It's nothing. It's a fleck in the overall scheme of things, right?
Yeah, for
So,
sure.
yeah, that's kind of who we are and who you're going to be getting as hosts of this podcast. Like I said, we're here to just dive deep into stuff that really hits home in life and what we enjoy. Is he snoring? He is full-fledged snoring right now. That's adorable. He likes it. He approves of the podcast.
I wanted to take it out and put it to a snoring. But
We'll do that one next podcast.
okay. I'm sure that they can maybe hear. But anyways.
Yeah, he is full-fledged snoring.
He's snoring.
Yeah, he's adorable. We'd love to know, anybody who's watching, what kind of dogs you guys have, how old they are. Some people, I'm sure, probably have very old dogs.
Yeah.
Or cats. We're not judgmental, but
anything.
Or anything. Maybe you have a goat. Do you have a goat?
Maybe you have a plant.
A plant, yes. You did want another ZZ plant.
Yeah, the Raven ZZ.
Yeah, I think it's called a Raven ZZ plant. I kiboshed that quite quick.
Which was so rude.
I had to, guys. So
no, he didn't have to.
I had to. So like we said, we went out shopping, got a bunch of fall decor, and it probably was like $500 in fall decor. Unnecessary amount of money. And then we go to this local nursery plant place.
Yeah. Specifically because I knew I wanted this plant. Okay. That's why we went to this place, because I knew I wanted the plant.
I thought we were going for fall decor.
We already got our fall decor.
I thought we needed some pots or something.
For plants.
For plants, yeah, because your 15 other plants, they are outgrowing their pots.
Yeah.
I didn't know, just one sec. I also didn't know that once you have a plant and it outgrows its pot, you have to keep buying more pots. Can you not just leave it in the pot and just let it? It's like a fish. A fish will grow to the size of tank it has.
No, look at my spider plant over there right now.
I know, but we're going to have so many pots. Everybody's going to end up
more plants in them.
That's crazy. that's crazy. But anyways, I said no because this plant was like $35.
Which is relatively cheap compared to my other plants.
Okay, fair. But at that point in time, not happening. Christmas is coming up, birthdays, everything.
What does that have to do with me buying myself a plant?
Well, I was more so saying like me to buy it for you.
You can't buy it in the winter.
You can't?
No.
Why? It's a greenhouse. They don't grow these things all... Really? It's
No,
like
because remember when we looked and I told you half of them were dead?
Yeah.
It wasn't their season, but I could have nursed one back to life.
Or we wait till it is their season and then we don't have to nurse it back to life. That sounds like a better option.
Okay.
Okay.
Just wait till spring comes around and I will tell you how many new plants I buy.
Let's just be honest. Episode 2 of this podcast, there isn't going to be the ZZ plant here. It's probably going to be a Raven ZZ plant. I'm never going to win.
Episode 2?
Probably episode 2.
That means you want to go after we're done recording?
No. It's like we said, it's already 3:30 on a Saturday.
Yeah, okay.
We have some other stuff we need to do.
Mm.
But I will bet by episode 10. I'll give you to episode 10. There's probably going to be a Raven ZZ right here.
Depends on the season, but we'll see.
True. Is there anything else that we wanted to touch upon in this kind of kickoff podcast episode before we wrap it up?
I don't think so. We pretty
No.
much touched on us individually, us as a couple.
Yep.
How we got to where we are today.
Yep. I think that's it for...
Not diving too deep on episode 1.
No, we can't dive too deep into episode 1. We got to give you guys a little bit of a cliffhanger
Yeah.
for what's coming next. But we do encourage you guys to hit the like, subscribe, comment, everything.
Anything helps. Even if it's just a, hey.
Yeah. Or just in conversation, mention it to somebody that, they may be able to relate to some of the things that you think that we're going to discuss. So spread the word about Life Unscripted and Nick and Kelsey.
And if there's anything you want to hear us discuss, feel free to comment or DM us.
Absolutely. Yeah. We're always open to, even if anybody wants to do like a virtual guest, we'll hit that point eventually. With technology, we can do that now.
It's a chunky dog.
He is a chunky dog. But yeah, stay in touch with us. We'll try and get back to as many of you as possible. And we really hope that you guys find some enjoyment with this podcast.
Yeah, it's been fun.
It has been fun. And this is only episode 1.
I know.
Okay. Stay tuned. That wraps up episode 1 of Life Unscripted with Nick and Kelsey.
Bye, guys.
See you guys. Thank you.